Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Cork in the North podcast with myself, Andrew Ryan. Thank you so much for being here. No Aaron today. He's currently in prison. He's not in prison. He's probably doing something fucking illegal, as he always is, or celebrating the fact that I think he's just about sold out the Lavery's Comedy Club for his show next year, which I will be supporting him physically and emotionally. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate everybody for liking, sharing and subscribing, and we are joined by a man, ladies and gentlemen, who I've had on the Patreon before, who towards the end of the conversation showed my real lack of research into his actual history, because I got so excited when I found out that as a young man he was the youngest ever person to run to become an MLA in Northern Ireland politics. He did fail. He did not win a seat. He is a loser. He is a 100% political failure. I mean, politicians are bad, but imagine when you can't even become bad.
I know.
Imagine when, like, politicians are horrendous people. They're not all horrendous, I'm only joking. But imagine, because, being a politician, you must be a knob. Imagine trying to become a knob and you can't even become a knob.
I wasn't good enough to be a dickhead.
You weren't even good enough to... That's a good sign, though, please.
Yeah. Maybe that's a positive to take.
Pete Giffen, I was going to say Griffin. This is the fuck up with you and your name. Pete Giffen, stand-up comedian, just about to do your 100th gig.
Yes.
You'll probably have done it by the time this goes out.
Probably will have, yeah.
Thanks very much for popping back into Cork in our podcast. Good to see you.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yes, I was delighted to get you back in, because this week, ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk a little bit about the political process here in the north of Ireland. Oh yes, we are not sick of that.
Showbiz, baby.
This is something that every person in the north is so excited about, and also politics up here is so progressive.
Oh yeah, of course. So everyone's so engaged.
And it's just, you can't even meet the politicians up here because they're so busy working.
You can get tickets for Lavery's, you can get tickets to all these comedy shows, but you can't get tickets for the Nolan show. Sold out every week. It's just that many people trying to get in
because we're so politically engaged.
We just want so much discourse.
We're loving all the future. We're excited.
I know.
Pete, before you got into comedy, you had a previous life, which I'm very interested in.
A previous life.
Tell me,
makes it sound like I'm a criminal.
Do you know what? Up here, people would be like, he'd had a previous life.
Yeah.
Everyone would be like, oh, he was doing an kneecapping.
I do kind of look like I would be involved.
You look like the kind of guy that should have gone to Turkey by now.
Yeah.
For the teeth and the hair and all that. But don't, stay true. Do you know, there's too many people going to Turkey.
Oh, I would never go.
Would you not?
No.
Except who you are, man.
Yeah. I like having the shaved head. I like it.
Yeah. I'm going slightly bald.
I don't think so.
I think I got Regain recently.
What's that?
The thing that thickens your hair.
Oh, mate. Do you use the Alpacine shampoo?
No, I tried that.
Yeah.
That's shit.
I've used it once or twice a couple of years ago.
I think I'll be honest with you, Pete.
Yeah.
You need a lot of goes.
Oh, I need a go. Need Miracle Girl.
You need more than shampoo. Can you even put shampoo on that?
No.
I don't know why I've said that to start the podcast. Like, I've just literally gone in on you.
It's always good to settle again.
It's always good to settle again. Welcome to the show. You're not good enough to be a dickhead, and there's no point in you shampooing your head.
I'm going to say your name, bro. You should have went to Turkey.
I've even forgotten the amount of insults. Good job, you're a comedian and you can take a fucking joke, not like some other people. All right. Knobheads. Ladies and gentlemen, Pete.
Yes.
From a very young age, you took a big interest in politics.
Yeah.
Why? Why would a guy of young who go out fucking playing football, kissing girls or boys, whatever you're into, Pete, you could be from Ballymena.
Could be.
Why were you interested in politics?
Yeah. My dad and my granda were sort of in the politics. Not
really.
In
the Ra?
No, they weren't in the Ra.
But when you go, my dad and granddad were in politics, straight away, they're in the Ra.
Well, they probably would have knew people who were in the Ra, but they might not have done it directly themselves. Their lawyers have told me to say. No, like they would have been not involved actively in politics, but would have had an interest. Do you know what I mean? So growing up, the likes of the TV and the stuff would have been on, the news. It would have been stuff we would have spoke about, around the kitchen table. So
you would have been quite a politically engaged family?
Yeah, certainly my dad and my granda. My mum, not really. Didn't really know what was going on.
And where did your family lean?
So my family would have been probably nationalist, yeah.
Probably?
Yeah, I wouldn't
was
say
it the Irish flag that probably gave it away, or...?
No, they wouldn't be, proper full-on, Republican, Chucky Arla, but, they would have voted Sinn Féin, that sort of way.
But they would have been, a soft nationalist?
Exactly, soft nationalist, that's probably the nice way to describe it.
So when you were growing up, what was your overall thoughts of the North and life here because of what had been going on?
Well, when I got the age of about 14 or so, that's probably when I first got interested in politics. I remember it was the 2010 election.
You were 14 in 2010?
Yeah.
Jesus.
I'm only 26.
first.
I really should have went to Turkey, shouldn't I have?
No, I'm not thinking about that. I'm thinking about my age.
Yeah, I was 14.
I know you're 26, but when you were 14, I was 28.
Yeah.
Like when I was 14, you weren't even born.
Really?
Well, the day before, like.
Yeah.
But like I was born in 1982, Pete.
I'm 96, yeah.
Pete, you weren't even alive for Italia 90.
No, I wasn't.
The
No.
World Cup in Italy, Ireland.
I vaguely remember 2002.
If you said to me there, I vaguely remember 1994, I would have got really upset there because you weren't born until 1996.
2002.
You
yeah.
vaguely remember 2002.
The World Cup, yeah. Vaguely.
Do you remember 9/11?
I remember the day after asking my granny what was that about. As if she was like a
The
spokesperson
biggest
for Al
history of
Jazeera.
terrorist attack in the world. We're not going to go into it. And right, we goes 3,000 dead. What's that about?
My granny's like a spokesperson for like.
Well, thank God it wasn't us.
She butchered it. Like she didn't have a very good description of it.
Right, I'm interrupting you. Keep going. So,
Yeah, so the 2010 general election, I remember getting an interest in that, and then I remember like staying up late with my dad to watch like the results come in because we're cool like that. So that was my first sort of getting an interest in it, if you know what I mean. And then sort of from like 14, 15, 16, I knew that I wanted to study politics at A levels, and I sort of knew what degree I wanted to go on and do.
Right. So you studied politics at A levels.
Yeah, so for A levels I did politics, economics, and sociology.
Okay. And when you're 15, 16, how active were you in politics at this stage?
So I joined the political party that I ended up joining when I was 17,
Which was?
Alliance.
And can I ask, coming from a soft Sinn Féin family, why not Sinn Féin?
Sort of leading up to being 17, I actually sort of went the other way and was maybe even like, sort of would have described myself almost liberal unionist. More just to the fact that I think it was when you're sort of a teenager.
Liberal unions, but you come,
Yeah.
come from a nationalist family.
I think it was that sort of, annoying things what you do as a teenager. We sort of rebel.
All right, mate. Yeah, but there's
Triangle
rebelling
the
with
other
drinking and smoking.
I know.
And there's rebelling with staying out late and telling your mum and dad to fuck off. There's not like, well, I'm going to go fucking, no, never, never. Like you've literally gone, you basically have changed religion.
Yeah, pissing off the parents by buying poppies.
Pissed off your parents by coming to Union Jack and a photo of the Queen and go be like, that's my real mama.
Yeah. I never went that far. I never went full Rangers top or anything like that there. But I would have, I sort of started to think that sort of way. And then I sort of wised myself up a wee bit and then sort of came back to somewhere in the middle.
So Alliance was your natural home.
That's naturally where I always was going to fall back to.
How do you join a political party?
It's pretty easy, especially being in that sort of generation of social media. It's much easier,
You slide into Naomi Long's DMs.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Naomi, story. What's happening? Can I be MLA? DM me back, babe. Hashtag live, laugh, love.
Pretty much, yeah. That's the crack. Yeah,
And do they invite you in, or how does it work?
Yeah, so you basically, like, you would just search, say, Alliance Party Lurgan, which is the town I'm from, and then you find, like, your local constituency. You get an email address, and then you just sort of email them. And then you get invited along to sort of, which is like a monthly sort of like constituency meeting of all the members.
Town hall or something, is it?
Yeah, or like, just in like, Alliance wasn't really that big, especially in my area, so it was like someone's living room, that sort of a way, or someone's office.
Was it mostly men as well?
Wasn't mostly men, it was mostly people who were about 60 and older. And I
you're
was sitting there like 17,
If you're walking
18.
in as a 17-year-old to a room full of 60 people in someone's house late at night once a month,
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie, I wouldn't put that down as a political rally.
No.
I would put that down as something that the PSNI need to get involved
Yeah,
in.
it was a bit, it's a bit sort of grooming. Especially the way I looked at that age as well. I think you've seen some of the photos of like the quite extravagant haircut.
I remember he said to me, I want to go upstairs to the bedroom to talk to you about foreign policy.
Yeah.
Because something's happening up there that are quite alien to me. I need you to go on anyway.
Yeah, so then you just sort of go around to these meetings, and I remember like never really having the balls to actually properly speak in them because you're just so nervous. At that age, you're awkward and your skin is enough. Never mind like being young and trying to get into politics, and people are talking, like not foreign policy, but they're talking about politics and quite in depth, and there are people who actually are elected councillors. You don't really know what you're saying, so you just sort of like sit there timidly and listen. Then after a few, you sort of chirp in every now and again.
Yeah, what was the first thing you said? And the line,
Can I go home? I don't like it here.
Can I go home? Why am I handcuffed?
Can we take his blindfold off, please?
Why is there a priest here?
Yeah. Why does my tea look that colour?
Why is there pictures of Verlene on the wall?
I know.
So, at what point do you, when you become engaged with the party, you start going to this meeting, just discussion of you becoming an MLA then?
Well, I would have been 17 when I started, which would have been 2013. So we were about 2013, and then the next election was 2014. So there's probably about a year there.
When you became a member?
Yeah.
Right.
Just a member. So you would have went to like the party conference, which would have been like happened in like a big hotel, and all the press come to that, and you sort of sit there, and you do a bit of flyering. So they'll go right, next week we're going to Banbridge, you take that street, we take that street, and we'll all meet up at 10 in the morning. You get the flyers and you go and you knock the doors. So it would have been bits and bobs like that in the year leading up to me actually running.
And so you knocked the doors?
Yeah.
What was that like?
Yeah, so we done it in like sort of Banbridge, Lurgan direction, and then we also went for a day up in Belfast to help out like one of the Belfast areas. I think it was North Belfast. Knocking the door. It's weird. Like,
so what kind of people were reacting to you? How were they reacting?
a lot of the vast majority of people are just so indifferent. Do you know what I mean? You may as well have been like a cold caller ringing them. You know, they're just like, "Oh, you're annoying me." You would have got some people who were annoyed, like as in like, "Oh, politics and all this load of shit. They don't deserve anything. You know, they never do any work." But the vast majority of people are just like, "Ah, yeah, okay, whatever." You know,
you don't really
get away from me.
You're not really getting anywhere. Like,
no, you're not. And I think that's probably what we'll make it on this later on, is what disillusioned me. You just never feel like you're getting anywhere, making a difference,
especially up here.
Yeah,
you know. So, how do you become approached, or did you approach to become an NLA? How do they?
So I didn't run to be an MLA. I ran to be a councillor.
Right, my apologies. Right. Okay.
So, and it was actually when the councils become bigger. So you might not have noticed this, but we used to have a lot of smaller councils in Northern Ireland, and then there was too many tiny councils. So what they decided to do was merge multiple councils together and make what they call super councils. So basically, like, the councillors have more power and they're over more areas.
They can get things done quicker, maybe.
Things like that. So our council used to be Craigavon, and then they merged Armagh, Banbridge and Craigavon Council together to make one. So it was like a big change, and the councillors would then start to earn more money. You could actually almost be like a full-time councillor if you really wanted to.
Really?
So that's when I decided to run, which just happened to be that year. So they were like, right, who wants to run? In Armagh, Banbridge, Craigavon, Portadown, all those sort of surrounding areas. And multiple people put their names forward, and then they would allocate who's best suited for that area, who's best suited for that area, blah, 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 blah.
Wow. Okay.
So I ended up getting Portadown.
Fucking good luck.
Exactly, because I'm the least likely to win.
Mate, when I get to train from Belfast to Dublin, and it goes, now stopping at Portadown.
You just hear everyone say.
I just sit there and I go, please let the kids be in school. Mm-hmm. Please let this be just an easy stop.
Yeah.
Just an easy, chilled out. That's a very big unionist area, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is that the unionist area? Like,
it would be properly like unionist loyalist.
Wow.
Well, when I ran in Portadown, UKIP got elected. So that's when UKIP were knocking about. This was like prime, like before the Brexit vote.
What is up with that area?
Yeah.
What's up with it? And when you got Portadown, do you think you were given like, it's like being given fucking Norwich to win the Premier League? You know it's not going to happen, but I have to pretend to support it. Like,
yeah, you had to pretend that it was possible. They hadn't even ran a candidate in like 10, 20 years, because why would they? It was a waste of, no one wanted to do it, and it was probably a waste of like.
So they went, we'd chuck Pete in.
Chuck him in, see if he's got any sort of chance. And I held the vote. I got the same vote as the person did last time.
How many votes?
Oh, it was, so you only get to see your first preference votes, because it's sort of, you don't just put an X, you rank people 1, 2, 3, 4. So you only see your first preferences. So I got a couple of hundred, and then first preferences, and then you don't get to see how many second or thirds and all.
But you didn't get, so out of all the people running, where did you come in the league table?
I would say maybe there was about 13, 15 people running. I think I maybe came like 2 or 3 from the bottom last. Like so, like a couple of people got.
Who was below you?
A few people got eliminated before me, and then it was me. There was a political party called NI21. I don't think you probably would have even heard of them, have you?
Didn't Sean talk?
It came up in
Aaron spoke about this before. Was this a new guy? He was like a Green Party guy, was he?
No, it was actually 2 guys who used to be in the Ulster Unionists, and they were like liberal unionists who thought unionism had went the wrong way. So they created a political party called NI21, which is meant to be like 21st century Northern Ireland. But it was so similar to Alliance that it made no real sense. And their sort of idea was, it'll be a political party, but it'll be like political parties where like business people run. It won't be like career politicians. Do you know what I mean?
All right, and how are they doing now?
Oh, they died after the election. Yeah. It was a nice idea, but would never practically work.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Oh, they died. They died.
They're
gone.
They died that day.
NI21 is gone.
Forever.
Wasn't there?
Huh?
There was like so much hype for.
Yeah, there was a lot of hype, and then
Because there was like so much marketing and
yeah,
everything else. Like,
and then but they had a scandal like a couple of days before the vote. There was
Hookers, cocaine.
no, it was like a sexual.
Oh, gee, I wasn't far off.
Yeah, it was like a sexual misconduct thing against the guy who was like the leader of the party.
How old is he?
He was like a middle-aged guy.
Oh, classic.
And like their main candidate that they were hoping would maybe get elected was this like sort of like young female like high flying business person, and then like when that came out she was like fuck this, distanced herself, and it was just a whole shit show. So they were probably the
At
only
least
people I beat.
I mean, that's terrible. Imagine if you didn't beat
I know,
that.
and it was fucking close.
Do you know what I mean? Imagine if you didn't beat that.
I know.
So who pays for all this? The Alliance Party pays.
Yeah,
for
the
it.
Alliance Party
So
pays.
you
You
didn't
have
put
to-
any money forward, right?
No, so you have to pay a certain amount of money to put yourself forward. I think it might be something like 500 quid to put yourself forward, and if you don't get 5 or 7 or 10% of the vote, whatever it is, you have to pay that. So it's basically discourage people for running for the crack.
So they only want serious candidates.
Serious candidates.
Otherwise, any Joe Soap in the street.
Exactly.
People like
Which
me.
you can do, but it's gonna hurt your purse.
I would like to run for election for the crack.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think I'd be good at it. Just a complete utter bullshit. Like
yeah,
my topics would be like, number one manifesto, world peace.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like it's going to be so vague.
Have you ever seen the political party, the Munster Raven Looney
Yeah,
Party?
yeah, I've seen them. Yeah.
And their manifesto was like reintroduction of the 99p coin, things like that. They're just bizarre shit that'll never happen. Like,
and also turning left. You have to turn left 7 days a week or something.
yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
You can't turn right. You have to
You're
turn
not
left
allowed to
3
turn
times.
left. You can't turn right. You can only turn
Yeah.
left. All roads have to be a one-way system, but only left only. Or no, I'm so confused.
It makes more sense than proper political parties
Yeah,
manifestos.
but when you were kind of like knocking around the alliance scene, like who did you get to meet?
So pretty much everyone. Like, so at the time, Naomi Long wasn't the leader then. She would have been like, she was an MP, and she was like an up and coming sort of minister.
What was she like?
She's lovely, yeah. Her husband as well is in Alliance, which people don't know. Her husband's an elected councillor in Belfast Council. He's lovely as well, Michael Long. And then the leader at the time was David Ford. And then Stephen Fowey, he's a minister. They'll be the sort of people you're meeting.
And
So you go to the party conferences and stuff, and what they try and get you to do is they do this really, where like they pick out all the young people, and they're like, oh, you sit up the front. Do you know what I mean? So when it's on TV, you get like a real like mix of people. Because it is like 60-70% middle class older white people.
yeah,
But like if you're someone from like an ethnic minority, or like if you're a young person, or if you're disabled or something, it's like, oh yeah, you get up the front.
yeah, because it looks better. Like we're inclusive.
But don't sit beside another one. Sit like 5 things down, so it's nice and like spread out. So you see that sort of element of it as well.
So it's
like
basically it's manipulation.
yeah, get all the young ones up the front, so then it looks like
Yeah.
we're attracting young people. So you have
All the
clap
young
and
people.
all.
People go, we're going to, bring in a policy of greener energy, and there's like a 12-year-old going, this is exactly why I'm here. I should be playing Fortnite.
Well, that's the thing. The worst is, and this is going to sound awful, but see Alliance Youth, which is like the youth wing. You go to them meetings, and like I was into politics.
Nazi
like,
had youth. Nazi youth
yeah,
as well, wasn't there?
everyone wore like wee armbands.
Yeah.
Brown
and they
shirts.
weren't swimming.
Yeah. Like I was into politics and all, but like to a certain extent, some of these kids were into it, like, and you felt like grabbing them and just going, do you ever kick a
Well,
football? Do you ever go outside and have friends?
Would you believe I used to be a member of a young political party?
Right, what was
When I
yours?
Like I was in the Progressive Democrats.
Right, okay.
PDs in Ireland. They're gone now. Mary Harney, Des O'Malley, Pat Cox, they used to be the leaders.
Would they be like social democrats now, no?
Yeah, to be honest with you, man, I didn't understand. I did it because I fancied a girl. And
Yeah.
It's classic me, like.
Yeah.
I've always been into yoga. and I joined. I never went to one meeting, but I signed up, and I would get a weekly email, like a little newsletter.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my good fucking Jesus!
Yeah.
You'd swear I joined the third rank, like the Third Reich, like. Some of the emails were so long. We need to push for social reform. I'm like, mate, I'm 17. I can't even push for a change of dinner in my own house on a Friday night.
That's exactly what I felt like.
Friday is fish.
Yeah.
I'm pushing for Chinese.
Good Catholic
I can't
family.
even change that.
Can't.
And you're sending me an email at 17 talking
That's
about you want to change
exactly what it's
social
like.
reform and social inclusion and reform the social welfare system and getting people off housing, off benefit and back into the workplace. Mate, you're 17. You don't even pay rent.
Exactly. I can relate that so much because the whole way through that political career, if you want to call it, Just imposter syndrome.
Political career. I love how you call it political career.
Maybe NI21, but
I threw out some flyers in Banbridge and poured it down. So my career, did you get paid a salary?
No.
It's not a fucking career then, Pete.
I know.
You were a volunteer.
I was a volunteer.
You were the same as like an IRA volunteer, except you were in the political sphere.
But you just always have like imposter syndrome. You're sitting there going like, why am I here?
Yeah.
Like,
Can I ask you a question?
what's going on?
Do you ever like look at them and think to yourself, have you got any girlfriends or boyfriends?
All the time.
What do? You should be, drinking on the street and getting fucking done at the back of a fucking GA hall, like.
Yeah, because like I was like, it does attract people who I don't know what the nicest way to put it, maybe a bit studious, a bit nerdy, that sort of vibe. That sort of attracts those sort of people, and I wasn't really like. I was actually relatively normal as a kid.
Full on like cocaine dealer.
Yeah.
Like kneecapping on Tuesdays between 5 and 7 off peak hours.
Yeah, so I never really felt like I mixed in. I never became like friends with any of them. If you know what I mean?
Yeah. So you run for councillor. When does it start to go right?
Go right?
But I go bad for you.
Well,
so you come third last, which is, well, can I just say, fair play to you for doing it though.
Yeah.
I know third last there. You didn't get a seat.
Yeah.
Maybe third last is the wrong phrase, but you put yourself out there.
Yeah.
So fair play to you. When does the disillusion start coming?
Well, leading up to the actual election, it sort of went tits up a few times because a lot of the stuff you have to run past a press officer. So when you run for a proper political party, they have a press officer. And they got contacted because I actually used to make like YouTube videos at the time. Just as everyone did, like younger, sort of like messing around making videos. And someone found the videos and they were just like like prank phone calls, messing about. It was like 15, 16. And someone like contacted the Alliance press officer and was like, do you really think this is acceptable? Do you think it's suitable for a candidate?
What a loser that person is.
See if I ever find him, like I fucking
What
hate
a
him.
fucking loser.
So I had to delete all that stuff. Now it was all shite. But I'd love to look back at that now, 10 years on with nostalgia, and laugh at the wee sort of funny videos I made when I was younger.
So what were you doing? Ringing up the DUP or something?
Yeah, ringing up the NI21, going, you're fucking going down.
yeah.
I'll see you Thursday.
I'm going to finish 8th, you're going to finish 9th. It's all about 8th and 9th here.
It's just me ringing in sexual abuse. Thanks for the fella. I heard he had cameras in his toilets anyway.
You got cancelled before you could even get going.
Mate, I got cancelled before being cancelled was the thing. I had to delete all those videos. And see, trying to explain to like a 45-year-old press officer, I was just like making prank phone calls on YouTube. He must have just been sitting there going, what are we doing, this guy? Like, why have we...
But that's how the world is.
Yeah. But,
so when does it start? When do you feel like, fuck this,
like being disillusioned about it? Yeah. I sort of got into it because I liked the idea of being a politician.
And getting all that money, yeah.
Yeah, and getting elected and having that wee bit of... And then once that went away, like, it definitely wasn't going to happen. And just, like, you're getting up on a Saturday and you're knocking doors and people aren't really interested and you're not really seeing... Alliance have seen a big surge in, like, recent years, but back then, Alliance were still, like, firmly, like, 5th or 6th,
Yeah.
And you just sort of, this isn't really going anywhere. And I'm not as passionate as what I used to be.
And because you just didn't see any impact.
Didn't see any impact.
Change.
Didn't see any impact. Didn't see any change. Didn't see any route to change. And also, I think just when you're younger, everyone thinks they can change the world. You think you know everything. You think like, oh, what my beliefs are. Oh, I'll always believe that. And then as you grow up and you grow older, it's not the end of the world. Do you know what I mean? Like, switch the news off, go outside, do other things. It's like, the news and politics and stuff like.
Yeah.
Do you know what I
mean? I've always had an interest in politics.
Yeah.
But not enough to go on a march.
Exactly.
Not enough to sign up to a political party.
Yeah.
Like, I was a member of one political party once and I paid them £5 a month.
Yeah.
I was a member of the Labour Party in England.
Okay, yeah.
When I lived in England. I voted in Brexit, you know that?
Right, okay,
like,
yeah.
I'm from Cork.
Oh, right enough, suppose
like,
so.
I lived in England for so long, I got the vote in England.
I was sitting there going, well, why wouldn't you? And then I realised you're from down
So,
south.
like, I'm from Cork and I voted in the British Brexit referendum, European
You
referendum.
voted to leave? You're like, too many Europeans coming over.
Sick of the Irish lads.
Yeah, fuck.
No,
fucking patties.
But the thing is, Ireland have a different status in the UK.
Right,
Because
yeah.
of a common travel area.
Yeah.
So I voted in loads of English elections. I voted for, I was a Labour Party man. And look, some people are going to come at me for this, but I was a big, big fan of Tony Blair.
Right, okay.
Not because of Iraq. I'm not trying to forget that either. My point is that I thought he was a really good statesman.
Yeah.
And I thought he was a very good leader.
And he could win elections.
And he can win elections. And I felt safe. You could feel safe under him.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, it went to shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which it always does.
Yeah. So I voted Labour. And the areas that I lived in England were always Labour.
Yeah.
And so I always voted. I liked Labour. And then when...
What sort of areas are these, by the way?
I was in Manchester at the time.
Okay. Yeah.
Then I moved to East London. And that was Labour.
Yeah.
I was like, fucking Labour.
Mm-hmm.
But the mad thing about it is that, like, this is how is this the right phrase? The socio-economic situation of each area you live.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If you lived in an area that voted Conservative,
Yeah.
you would have a very good chance of getting a GP appointment on the same day.
Yeah.
If you lived in an area that voted Labour or Lib Dem, there's
Yeah.
a chance you'd have to wait 3 or 4 days for a
Yeah.
GP appointment, because they say the wealthier you are, the healthier you are.
Yeah. And why would you vote to change the status quo when the status quo you have isn't that bad? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
In that
So-
sort of area, you know.
It's mad. So I joined the Labour Party when Ed Miliband became the leader. I actually thought David Miliband
His brother,
was
yeah.
would be. I actually thought Ed Miliband's brother, David Miliband,
Mm-hmm.
is the leader that is the best leader Britain never had.
Right, okay. That's a big statement.
I thought he was a really, really smart guy.
Uh-huh.
Really smart. And I liked him, and I thought he was very calm,
Uh-huh.
very centre.
Yeah.
And I decided, and I was living in the UK, and I was like, Brexit and all these things were starting to happen, you know,
Yeah.
noise and rumblings and UKIP and BNP and all this.
Yeah.
And I was, listen, I'm very fucking Irish, like.
Mm-hmm.
But when you live in an area, it's very hard not to get involved
Yeah.
in that area.
You get sucked into
Like,
it,
look
sorta.
at me getting involved here now in the Northern
Yeah.
Irish issues.
Yeah.
Like, I go on RTE, the Southern website, every single day. I listen to the Irish news every day. I know
Really?
exactly what's happening with the Taoiseach, the Tánaiste, the ministers, the housing issues, the number of houses being built in the south, all this kind of stuff. But I would never get involved.
Yeah. But it's good. It's good to be educated.
But I just like to know who's moving and who's doing what, and
Yeah.
who's coming up and who's under pressure. I just like to know.
You say you are interested but never properly got involved.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I got involved and then stopped even being interested.
Wow.
I went from one
just
extreme to the other.
Maybe just being interested is the key.
I think so. Because I think I got that involved with it almost to the fact where I tried to get elected, tried to become it, and then I went completely the other way now. Now I don't even watch the news. I have no interest in it. It's almost just like I feel better when I don't watch the news.
Do you?
Because I think if I did watch it and I did get into it, I'd get into it too much and it would annoy me. And that's just sort of like the frustration of it.
So you just ignore it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like looking at your ex-girlfriend's Instagram.
Stuff like, yeah.
Yeah.
Blocking
Just
everyone, yeah.
block it. Can't
Yeah.
look at it. It'll annoy me.
It's like Love Island. You know, if it's on everywhere, just block the words on Twitter so it doesn't go up your feed.
Yeah. Same like me with like I'm a celeb,
Yeah.
you know. But going back to, I joined the Labour Party and I gave them £5 a month, and
Yeah.
then they elected Jeremy Corbyn,
Uh-huh.
and then I quit
Right. You weren't a
because
fan.
I like Jeremy Corbyn, but you can't lead.
Yeah.
Guy couldn't lead.
Yeah.
There's no point in being really good at something, but not able to manage it. Like, you could be an insanely talented soccer player,
Mm-hmm.
but not be able to manage yourself.
I really liked Jeremy Corbyn. I thought he was fantastic. but
I liked him.
I
Don't get
thought
me
the
wrong, I did
media
like him,
made
but-
it impossible for him to lead.
Well, I think his own party made it impossible.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I don't think they liked him either.
It went way too far left, man.
Yeah.
Politics, I think, works really good in the centre.
Yeah. Whether you fully agree with the centre or not, I think that's where the best chance of winning is.
Exactly.
And then once you win, maybe you can branch out a wee bit. But to actually get your foot in the door, you need a sort of
Yeah, and the
appease
alliance is very
people.
centre, isn't it? Wasn't it? The
Yeah.
alliance is very centre.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you talk about like disillusion and disappointment, how
Mm-hmm.
did you leave? How do you end? Being like, did they ring you up and be like, Pete, where are you this week?
They're probably all fucking, thank God he's fucked off. No, there's no real sort of big, right, I'm leaving. It was more just a gradual, maybe you start to turn up to less and less meetings, and then you pay a yearly subscription.
Then when you cancel that,
Just didn't renew it. Do you know what I mean?
and did anyone contact you?
I am no one like officially contacted me or got an email that, oh, we've noticed this. But some of the, you know, the personalities, you know, who you would have went to meetings, say, oh, I haven't seen you in a while, blah, blah, what happened? Oh, no, I'm just not really as interested. And then just after a while, you know, it just sort of gradually stops. But I still get emails from the Alliance Party because I've never
Unsubscribed.
officially went, no, fuck this, like never contact me again. I'm a lapsed member, if you know what I mean.
It's like being a lapsed Catholic.
Yeah. Which
Yeah,
I am.
but like, I'll only go if there's a funeral. Or
Yeah, go to the big games.
go to the big games. I go to the quarters and the semis, and if there's a funeral on a Saturday, I mean, that's a big one.
I'll get my ashes and go to Easter, like, with
get me a little chest.
get my targets.
That is so. What at the current state of play in politics now? I mean, I can imagine before Brexit, it was bad.
Yeah.
Now it's a shit show.
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you hope at the moment? Like what from your experience is it just like this is just cycle of shit? It's keep happening again and again. What do you see going forward is potential way for this place to move forward?
Well, for Northern Ireland, I think a big thing happened there in the last election was Sinn Féin getting more seats than the DUP. So that's essentially why we don't have a government at the moment.
Oh, 100%.
Because Sinn Féin have more seats, they become First Minister. DUP aren't happy with the protocol, but are using their unhappiness with the protocol as an excuse not to go into government. When in reality, I think they don't want to go into government because they don't want to go into a government where Sinn Féin are going to be the First Minister. So they're threatening to call another election, which I don't think anyone wants, anyone needs. But I think going forward in future elections, I would like to see people vote for... Like, if people keep voting for Sinn Féin and they keep voting for DUP, and if they won't work together...
What's the point?
Maybe it's time to vote for other parties, but I also think the SDLP and the UUP are down away. I don't think they have a chance of resurgence. So I think people are either going to keep voting for Sinn Féin, DUP, or these sort of middle parties.
So we're looking at Greens, we're looking at Alliance.
Because Alliance have came up, I think maybe they came up to like 3rd or 4th in the last election.
Well, I would imagine if they keep growing the way they're going because of this new generation of non-aligned people.
Yeah.
And they're all saying, we're sick of green versus orange, green versus red, white and blue. Yeah. What we want is housing. We don't care. Like, I couldn't give a flying fuck what your background is.
Yeah, no one does.
I don't give a fuck. Like, I really could. Like, don't get me wrong, do the odd gag and stuff like that. Like,
yeah.
But, like, Jesus Christ.
That's how you know you don't give a fuck. Because you're joking about it.
I don't give a shit.
If people who really care about it can't make jokes about it.
I live in a Protestant area.
Yeah.
I swear to God, I feel safer there than I've ever felt living in London. Like,
yeah.
Like, it drives me insane that people... Now, it's not a lived experience for me. Mm-hmm. It's not my generation of, being 20 in the 80s, growing up with all that shit. So I can understand people have post-traumatic stress. They still have issues that affects them today. Thousands of families here lost loved ones. Mm-hmm. And I know that hurt will never go away. Yeah. And I can understand people who grew up in a society where they were told, like, this is the enemy or whatever. Yeah. And, it's sometimes what you learn as a child stays with you till you die. Yeah. And I can understand that. Like, and that's why, I totally get it. And your concerns and your anger, is valid. Yeah. But also you have to draw a line in the sand. Like, why is a 21-year-old suffering? Yeah. Now, with lack of public services in the north, because of something that happened in 1982.
Yeah. And that's the thing, if you talk to people that go, I don't really care about religion, don't really care about whether you're this side or that side, I only care about education and health. And you're like, no, stop at the but, you had it. Like, you have all the tools in your head, you're almost there. Yeah. To voting, to making the change. Like, just get rid of those shackles, if you know what I mean. Yeah. It's almost like a religion. People who grew up with like a belief or deep faith, it's like, it's not real.
I believe in a United Ireland. Yeah. I believe in a United Ireland. I'm a nationalist. Yeah. But I'm a very, very, very soft nationalist.
I would be the same.
Okay?
Yeah.
Look, but I'm also a big believer in if the vote ever came to pass, we have to be incredibly respectful to other people that don't want this. Yeah. Now, there's 280,000 British people that live in the Republic of Ireland. Mm-hmm. I don't hear them complaining. You can still be British living in Ireland. Yeah. Now, I obviously understand that this is a horrendously difficult situation up here, and I do not know what the solutions are. Mm-hmm. But I that's what I was brought up to. Irish nationalism. I grew up watching all the films and the history and all that. I don't agree with things nationalism have done.
Yeah, of course.
I don't agree with things unionism have done. Yeah. I'm a very centred, not involved. I'm just going, look, I just think for the whole island to come together, I think there would be great opportunity for jobs, for health. There needs to be great healing.
It also just makes sense for one bit of land.
And also one bit of and also I think there needs to be a place put inside for unionists and unionism to say, like, look, we understand this isn't what you want, but we will listen to you. Yeah. We will make sure that you feel comfortable, you feel safe, you feel acknowledged, you feel like you have a voice. Yeah. And your traditions and all that, we will look at making sure that you can still obviously do your traditions. Yeah. But we want you to come to the table. Yeah. And allow you to be British within Ireland and still have a British or an Irish passport.
Yeah. That's what I think. I think David Ford, the leader of Alliance Party, said something that struck with me was people talk about a united Ireland. Before we unite Ireland, we need to unite Northern Ireland. You need to unite us together before we can unite with Ireland.
That's not going to happen.
And you can't drag people in I don't think you can drag unionists.
But you can drag people out of Europe, though.
Yeah, you can do that. I don't think you can. I don't think you can drag unionists in the United Ireland. I don't think this will happen. I don't think this can happen. But I think an ideal situation of United Ireland would be like a weak Dublin government. So like a Dublin government that just sort of does, military taxes, and then like a devolved government in each of the 4 provinces. So then that still gives autonomy to people of Ulster.
They can still have their own identity.
Exactly.
But that's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. But I think in an ideal world, that is somewhere.
I don't know what the solution is. I don't see a way. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Northern Ireland should fucking start again. Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Tax-free.
Their own wee place. I love that.
Tax-free Monaco.
Yeah.
Let's start fucking getting the money. Get the Arabs in.
Just selling 15s and sausage rolls.
Get the fucking Arabs in. Get the tigers in the street. Get the fucking... every person gets born with a Bentley.
We should be like a shit football club that gets bought over.
Yeah.
By some prince.
And it's just cocaine everywhere.
Yeah.
Hey, Harlow and Wolf. What's it called? Harlow
and
Wolf like gets fucking blown up.
They buy Mbappe and he's our first minister.
Mbappe is the minister for health.
Yeah.
Like
Holland is deputy first minister.
Holland is deputy first minister. Just like fuck it up. Get rid of Belfast City International Airport.
Yeah.
Get rid of it. Fucking sell it to fucking Donegal.
Jim Alister's still there though. We can't get rid of him. No. He hasn't left yet.
Jim Alister is like Jim Alister's working on the doors at Asda.
Yeah. Where he should be.
One in, one out.
He's a gobshit.
But have you ever met him?
No, I've never met him. And I don't know how it would be if I met him.
He comes across to me as someone that is so stuck in the past that he can't see he can't see his head from his own arse.
Yeah. He's a lawyer as well. Do you know what he is? He's a barrister.
He's a liar.
Yeah, he's a barrister.
Oh, he's a lawyer. He's a barrister.
Yeah.
But can you imagine him being your defence?
Exactly, that's the main terrifying.
Why did you rob the car? Well, they put it down to the Ra.
Yeah. His skin colour is terrifying. He's like just a constant red.
Can you imagine? I'd say, what does kids think of him? That
I know.
Christmas Day. Like, what's the crack there? Like,
there would be no crack in his house. Imagine Christmas Day in his house. Everyone just eating like plain, unseasoned turkey, drinking water, and then everyone in bed by 8.
Where's the gravy? The Ra made the gravy. We can't have anything with
Jesus
Sinn
didn't
Féin.
have gravy.
Why, Dad? Why is the grass being dyed blue? We can't have anything green in this house. It reminds me of Sinn Féin.
Yeah, the whole house is tarmac.
Everything is just tarmac. So it is very strange. If they have another election coming up, I think you're more or less going to get roughly the same, aren't you?
I think so. But I think the sad thing would be is if like the DUP maybe got one seat, because I think Sinn Féin have one more than DUP. If DUP then got one more than Sinn Féin, and then they would try to argue, right, well then that's us in. And it's like, well, Sinn Féin got that same result and he said that weren't them in. There's never going to be a massive change.
Yeah, but Sinn Féin,
so what's the point?
Sinn Féin were like, well, we're not going in now.
Yeah. And Alliance won't want to run again because Alliance just done really well, better than they've ever done. So you're not going to want to risk that. It's that whole saying in politics, turkeys don't vote for Christmas. You won't vote for something that can negatively impact you. The DUP are probably the only party that want to go again because they're in a bad position.
Because they think they'll basically get back into a good position and they're like, okay, well, we're fine with the protocol.
Yeah. But I think some people are copping on to the DUP and their tricks and they're starting to see through their bullshit. So I think if the DUP do like twist and go for another action, there's a chance they might get hurt even more.
Do you really think so?
Could they?
Yeah, I have a feeling like that they would genuinely like lose. I think there's people in their own camp that are genuinely probably scared of like potentially like losing votes and stuff like that,
Yeah.
Because like
damage limitation almost.
Exactly. Oh, here we go.
I'll take it from here, Pete. Good to be back on the Corking North podcast. Pete, you take a seat, big man. I'll just step in. How you well?
I'm good, man. You
smell
lovely.
I had to take a second guess that it was Pete because I don't have my glasses on. I hope this is Pete and not like Colin Geddes or something like that.
So
I'll let you finish up.
So what's happening is that we've just been ambushed here. Typical fucking West Belfast guy ambushing.
I heard us talking about the DUP.
He heard us talking about the DUP. He just ambushed the podcast. So Aaron's just turned up because we're doing another record after finishing Pete. So thanks, Aaron. Nice to see you.
Smell lovely, by the way, Aaron.
I'm sorry. I'm glad I smell nice.
You smell great, mate.
Thanks.
You smell really good.
I'm trying to do better.
Yeah.
I didn't really have a choice in smelling you.
I have. Sean's passed me a mic now, so I should be able to be heard loud and clear.
Good.
I'm sorry for ambushing your...
I love it.
It's okay, mate.
I love an ambush.
I'm not really sorry.
It's just another thing on the HR file.
Just another day in paradise for Andrew.
So we're just talking about the election, potential future election.
Yeah.
Love erections.
Elections, not
Sorry.
erections.
Sorry. Love both.
Love
Love
both.
elections.
Do you know what I love? I love an erection and an election.
Yeah.
Elections give me erections.
Yeah, elections. Yeah, they used to.
Yeah, they used to. I don't know.
What he's talking about?
So Pete ran for an election in 2015 for the Alliance
14.
Party. 14 for the Alliance
he ran
Party.
for Alliance? Mm-hmm. Would you not have been like 19 or something?
18.
Wow.
Yeah, he's their youngest member, but he
Balls
didn't get
of
elected.
bastard.
Didn't get elected.
I know.
No shit, he didn't get elected.
Exactly. I ran and poured it down as well.
He ran him forward down. It's like that's like fucking putting. I'm not gonna. I can't say what I'm gonna say
No,
there.
say
I
it,
can't. I
fuck
cannot.
it.
Say, you know what?
If I put the Catholic and poured it down, which is what it was.
If actually came out of my mouth there, what I was gonna say,
Garvaki Road.
I
massive.
actually
People know that.
think I would have had
Well,
a
that's the thing.
complaint.
The guy who beat me and got elected for UKIP was the guy who done drum key at the Gavahi Road.
Oh, right.
You know, the whole standoff. So that's the sort of.
Garvaki Road, Andrew, is the one Catholic road in Portadown. Just so you know. They have one Catholic road called the Garvaki Road.
My grand is from there.
So I might actually go down and have a look at it.
Yeah, well, we do a vlog down there of you visiting the Garvaki Road.
What would happen?
There's only one way to find out.
You'd be all right because the Garvaki Road, we're safe there. That's
Yeah.
like the embassy in Portadown. That's
It's a militarised
Do you know
zone.
when Catholics are trying to get home from Portadown?
Yeah.
You just find their Garvaki Road and they'll get you safe.
They lose their passport and they just go to the G Road.
So it's basically like a little South Korea in North Korea.
Exactly.
What do you call that Wikipedia guy?
Yeah. Oh.
Julian Assange.
Julian
outside
Assange.
of the G Road.
So he would be safe
He's not
there.
allowed to
Would he?
leave.
But is the Garvahi Road? Is it all boarded up like?
No.
No. It's thriving.
But there was a big standoff there because the Orange Order tried to walk down it in the 90s and they were like no, and then there was a whole big fucking thing.
And they camped out in the fields for
all
months.
that shit. Yeah. So that was the guy who orchestrated that. He was the guy that beat me in the election.
Wow! And tell me, what were the residents like in the Garvahi Road about all that kind of stuff? They were like, "You're not coming down here."
Yeah, and it was a whole big standoff. But the guy's gobshite.
How did it get resolved? How did that get resolved?
I don't know. I was like 2 when it happened. I don't even know. It was in the 90s. Like,
Fucking hell! Do you remember that, Aaron?
I was part of it.
He was
I think
there.
at some stage,
You're up the front.
I think I was. Yeah, I would have been.
Were you just doing a dance like a
I-
Sinn Féin coming
run over
at
to
you
people going,
with
"Smell me."
housing policy, housing
moon-
policy.
Yeah, moonwalking to freedom.
That is fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
So, Pete, you're approaching 100 gigs in stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
Which is very
Coming up to
exciting
my
for
first
you.
year, yeah.
And you've left the world of mediocre politics and banging on doors in Banbridge.
Yes.
Handing out alliance thing.
Yeah.
Have you ever done the Edinburgh Festival?
No, but
No, because I'll tell you something, you'll be handing out fucking flyers there as
I
well, I
know.
can tell you.
I know.
People won't give a shit.
have the
People won't give a
experience.
shit either. So, 100 gigs in comedy. And 100 gigs in comedy. So it's very exciting for you because, like, do you do politics on stage?
no, I do want to do a show about being in politics.
And I think that would be something like the Edinburgh Festival
Exactly.
would love.
Like a show, but I don't want to do it until I feel like I have the skill set to do it. I don't think I'm skilled enough to navigate it. I want to wait and do a proper good like show on it.
100 years. 100 gigs.
100 years.
You don't think 100 gigs is skill set enough?
No, I think you can always get better.
No, 100 gigs is not skill set enough, mate.
Yeah, no. That's what I
I'm
mean.
13 years in.
Yeah, exactly.
Now I'm hitting it.
Yeah,
100
exactly.
plenty, mate, don't worry. I
Huh?
think you've peaked. Believe me when I say you don't get better.
Yeah, fuck.
No, like, I've had Aaron support me for 4 nights. Trust me, you can get better because he can't.
Yeah.
All I hear is, my granny got the LA for life.
Social welfare.
So
if you're in Ireland.
and then he goes down court and does a joke with Lambert and Butler when there's no fucking Lambert and Butler down south.
They need to
And they
fix that.
fucking died us all. And I was like, I should have said Benson and Hedges.
That's a down south problem, not an Ireland
No,
problem.
you need to get on board. That's a down south problem. No. I know. Listen, Pete, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for
Pete
having me,
Giffen, ladies and gentlemen, stand-up comedian. What's your podcast and your
RE
socials?
podcast.
RE.
RE podcast. Yeah.
And who do you do that with?
Kieran Franco and Sean McAlevey. So it's on YouTube, Spotify, and then just
Fantastic.
Pete Giffen on all the socials.
Lovely stuff, Pete. And thanks for coming in. It's very interesting to learn a little bit about your back political experiences and stuff.
My
Because
career.
I'm running for. I'm gonna try and join DUP for the crack.
Well, you've got my vote, no matter who you run for.
Yeah, all
I'd
right.
vote for the DEP if you run for them.
I'm gonna vote for the DUP because we need to go back to when dinosaurs. That's what I'll do. Go back to some of that.
Dinosaurs and man ran about together.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening to and clicking on to this episode of the podcast. Please do subscribe to us on Patreon as well. For £3 a month, you get some extra episodes. 3 episodes a month as well. And also to everybody that's coming to the live show, we're very excited to see you as well. And Please do like, share, and subscribe, and also follow myself on Instagram at Andrew Ryan Comedy or Cork and the North Podcast on Instagram as well. Thanks very much for another episode of Cockers and Dots. Goodbye. Thank you, Pete.
Thank you.